Again, I think the run game started to really come together against Ole Miss, but obviously that helps having your star tailback. You know, it's no mystery that great runners make for a great run game, and you know, I don't want to be disrespectful to anyone else, but he's one of the best. It's the reason he's going to get drafted and be a really good NFL back. So like I said before, he helps his own team because he knows how to push his combinations and makes guys better. That creates confidence, and when you're doing that and you have that kind of mindset, we can all feed off of that, and your confidence can grow. So I felt like it's been close and it's gotten better with you know, and I felt like last week, yeah, we were able to sustain it. That was a close game, and we were able to stay with it. I mean, it was 3-3 at halftime. If the game gets away from you, you're not able to do that, and that's what happened in South Carolina. You know, we weren't able to run up the second half because we were playing catch-up. If you're in that world, it's going to expose some other things, and so when you can play your style play, you can let those guys have success and play physical and be the kind of group you want them to be.
Rich, you've been here since the spring going against your own defense. What impresses you about Brad White as a coordinator, as a play caller, as a designer of defense?
He's one of the best D coordinators I've been around. I've said this to a few people. I mean, he plays with the style of play. Actually reminds me of a little bit of Dick Fangio in the way that, like Dick was, he said this morning, when he was known as an odd defense savant, and he was one of the best and always the hardest to go against, and he adapted and adjusted and he understood his defense and he understood himself. And I feel like Brad is that guy. Like, he's super intelligent. He sees the game to the quarterback. He sees the little things. He coaches the details. He's versatile. He can adapt. He's a really good teacher. I've been very, very impressed by Brad.
Tennessee's put at least 34 points in each of their games. How much pressure does that put on your offense to keep up with their pace?
Yeah, again, it's you know, it can go that way because you're going to get more possessions because of the way they play. I mean, I think last year when they played each other, you know, Tennessee or I think UK had 94 plays against them. I mean, that's far more than they had in any other game. I mean, it's just the way they play is going to lend itself to more possessions. Again, we have to make our possessions count. And if we do that with points, we're okay. If you don't, yeah, it's going to be difficult to keep up with them. But it's our job to take care of the rock and make it matter. And I'm excited for this challenge. I think it's two different styles. It's a tough environment, and you know, you just got to go play your game and let the chips fall where they fall.
You talked about environment. You've been to Ole Miss. You've been to Florida. Tennessee, a different environment as you might have saw last week. Just how much we heard the noise out there. How much are you guys emphasizing more this week? The silent counts, the cohesion on calls, and all that.
It's cool. It's awesome. Like, it's nothing better. I mean, it's that's the reason I'm coaching in this conference. I mean, it's like you've said before, in a lot of ways, it's just different than the NFL and more intense in some ways in those stadiums. I mean, people are living and dying with every call, and it's pretty neat, you know. And there's a real sense of pride that can go with going in and functioning efficiently in that kind of environment, because it's very, very hard to do, and it's a very, very big challenge. And playing a great team in a great environment, what's better than that? And if you can do that, you deserve it. And if you can't, you can't. But I'm excited for the challenge. I think we will be up for it. And we got to rally together, and we got to handle all those variables. And again, we'll see where it ends up. I'm looking forward to it. I know it's going to be a tough task, but yeah, it'll be just a great experience. And I think we can do some really good things if you're the best version of ourselves come Saturday night.
I know it's not your job to slow them down, but as someone who appreciates good offensive quarterback play, what has impressed you maybe what you've seen of Hendon Hooker? Of Hendon Hooker.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, I mean, he's a playmaker. I mean, no other way. And that offense, I believe, you know, it just lends itself to allowing a guy to be that kind of playmaker. And you need to be able to play off schedule, to improvise. And to play with confidence, and I think he's playing that way. And I think he's got some really good skill guys around him, and I think they got a really good scheme. They have a clear identity, and when you have those things, I think you can do something pretty good. And I think that's what they've done. But yeah, I would love to have some 15-play drives in 7 minutes. So if we can get that done and stay on the field, that'd be great. But it doesn't always go that way. So.
We mentioned NFL a couple of times. Can you think of an experience that you had facing maybe an offense that does things similar to this, or the tempo, or
I mean, you know, like again, there are weeks when you know you're in for the challenge because you know your defense maybe isn't loaded or the offense is so good, but you know you just can't play this way in the NFL. Like it's a different style of play. You can't play out the splits. You can't play this kind of play. And you can't go this fast because the game doesn't allow you to go this fast. So it is a different animal, and that's a huge challenge for a defense like we're at. Like I mean, I see it on tape when these guys play. Like it is a different element now, and it's very difficult on defenses. So from my perspective, the challenge of like you play the Chiefs or you play some dynamic offense, and you know you got to be efficient. You got to be at your best, and you have to take that with pride. You have to go out there and you have to execute the best you can do. Give yourself a chance to win, and that's all you can ask for.
When you're playing a team like Tennessee, or in the NFL that has a dynamic offense that scores a lot of points, ordinarily does their defense take more chances because they feel like even if they if they get burned on something, their offense is going to make up for it?
Yeah, what it's funny is the games are completely different, and it's really kind of cool. And I've been in both, and it's been great to be back in this environment. The SEC's been tremendous, but yeah, I mean, in the NFL, you can't just people don't all out blitz. You know, I had a great coach tell me one time, and the reason you don't see that is because if you give up a 7-yard touchdown in the NFL, the owner will fire you the next day. So in college, you can be a little more risky when you have an offense that's playing with possessions and doesn't matter, and they're trying to create havoc and negative plays and take you out of your game and get you off schedule. And I think that's a complementary style that they play. They do a very good job of it. They're very well coached on both sides, and that's a tremendous challenge. But what a good challenge, and I think we'll be up for it.
Coach, we saw Mark talk about in an interview some possibilities in the future of maybe packages with Destin, and then we also saw he was listed on the depth chart this week. What have you liked from what you saw in him in practice, maybe for the future and something like that?
I would say that's part of having the bye week was able to get those guys a lot of work and to let them take reps and play and evaluate them. And I had seen him trending positively the last few weeks. We had him ready to play against South Carolina. We had a package for him. Had a package for him every week since, and I'm excited about where he's at. And I think the more reps he gets, the more comfortable he'll be. But it's not easy to be a young guy and to have not been here in the spring and to not get all the reps. But he has made the most of them. He's got really good makeup. He's a winner by nature, and that's why he's here. And he's competitive, and so he's done a lot of good stuff, and he's earned the opportunity to compete for that 2 spot.
The Vols pass defense is pretty close to last in college football. What have you seen on tape that you'd like to exploit in that secondary?
I don't. It's funny it's hard always in college to compare statistics. Like it's apples and oranges. I mean, we're out there grinding it out from the huddle, and everyone's saying, "Hey, you're 5th slowest or 3rd slowest," whatever. Yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. But the reality of it is when you're going to play that fast, you're going to give up more yards and more stuff. And especially when they're playing leads, they're going to play for and they're playing with leads. The defense is going to play a little different. So I think that they're capable of playing a close game, or if they can get on top of you, they'll play a certain style too. And so I don't know if it's about exploiting Tennessee. I think they have a really good defense. I think it's more or less how the game unfolds and does it allow you to beat you. And if it does, and Will plays well, and we play well around him, and he can distribute the ball, I think we'll have success. But if we don't, it's going to be very, very different.
Rich, you talk about in the NFL, you can't play the way Tennessee does on offense. So Will playing in your offense that's a pro style that comes from that, how big is that for his draft status for people looking at him as a prospect, as opposed to if he was playing the run and shoot?
It's a huge deal. And knowing the guys who I've talked to and knowing why, and having done every draft for the last 5 years, it's just I know how it works, and I know it's hard for people to evaluate spread quarterbacks in college in the NFL. And there's a learning curve of things that is too long to list for a guy that does make it harder for those guys. Not to say that they haven't, Patrick Mahomes is great, the best, generational player, but he also sat for a year and was healthy. That's the difference. Will be ready made day one. He'll walk in and he can call play, he can visualize it, he knows protections, he knows the run game, he knows coverage, he knows fronts, he knows it all. And that part of the game comes with playing with this kind of offense, which does help a developmental process for those types of programs. So yeah, in the big picture, it's why he will be one of the first guys picked. It's why people will respect that and see that. And those days are down the road for him. Right now it's Tennessee, but I do feel like it has made it easier for him.
You've been to Florida and Ole Miss and played in front of some great atmospheres already. Does that help you a little bit, and the guys not getting too hyped or overexcited in the early stages of the game?
Yeah, I think just in general, we're very young in a lot of spots and have been, and now they've played games, and I always feel like it's somewhere between 3 to 5 games for a player when the game begins to slow down. And so, yeah, you're hoping that having gone in those environments, having been a tackle that's had to pass set a really good SEC guy on the road, the crowd going crazy and him jumping the count. And I think those things give you experience to lean on that can help you play more confidently because you know what you're in for. But it's never easy. And it's a hard task. And that's what winning on the road is so hard in these environments. So it's a great challenge, but yeah, it is hard.
Okay, folks, thank you very much.
Thank you.